Kids, what's the craziest thing you've ever pulled off? I was home alone for the weekend because my parents drove 3 hours to some wedding where they'd complain about the chicken being dry. My older brother Curtis was supposed to be watching me, but he was at his girlfriend's house pretending he had responsibilities. So naturally, I invited 6 friends over. Nothing crazy, just pizza, games, the usual low-key Saturday vibe where no one gets arrested or breaks anything expensive. But my friend Nolan had other plans. This man showed up with his entire gaming setup, not a controller, not a laptop, his full PC tower, his monitor, his gaming chair, a keyboard that glowed like a rave, and about 9 tangled cords that looked like they required an engineering degree to connect. He walked in like he was moving into a dorm. I said, "Nolan, we have a TV." He said, "Yeah, but I need low latency." "Sir, we're playing Minecraft, not competing in the Olympics." So he sets up in the living room. We're all hanging out, eating pizza, vibing. Then my friend Jake stands up too fast, bumps the coffee table, and knocks over this lamp. The lamp hits the floor. The bulb shatters. But that's not even the bad part. The lamp also somehow crashes into the shelf next to it. The one my mom decorates like it's a museum exhibit. And sitting on that shelf, her favorite vase. The vase she got on some trip to Italy and talks about like it's a family heirloom. The vase that, according to her, has survived 3 moves and 2 earthquakes. It didn't survive Jake's existence. It shattered. Glass everywhere. Pieces so small they looked like glitter. We all froze. Someone whispered, "We're dead." Nolan unplugged his PC like he was about to flee the country. My friend Asia pulled out her phone and said, "Okay, everybody stay calm. I'm Googling the vase." She found it. Same vase. Exact match. $80. We all looked at each other. Then started pulling out our wallets like we were crowdfunding a felony. Asia ordered it with overnight shipping. And we spent the next 2 hours on our hands and knees picking up every single microscopic shard of glass like we were cleaning up a crime scene. Vacuum. Paper towels. We even used tape to pick up the tiny pieces. Nolan said, "If we miss even one piece, she'll know." He wasn't wrong. By the time we finished, my living room looked cleaner than it did before the party. The vase showed up the next morning at 9. We heard the doorbell, sprinted outside, grabbed the box, ripped it open like it was Christmas, and placed it on the shelf. Perfect. Identical. Not a scratch. We all stood back and stared at it like it was an art installation. My friend Liam said, "Honestly, this might be the best thing we've ever done." My parents came home that afternoon, walked right past the vase, didn't even blink. My mom smiled and said, "I'm so glad you boys didn't destroy anything while we were gone." I almost passed out. A week later, my mom had a friend over and was showing her around the house. She pointed at the vase and said, "I'm so glad nothing ever happens to this when we're gone. It survived so much." I had to leave the room before I started laughing.